was way too close! How did that thing just burst into the Opera House? Wait, was that the huge whale you saw in your dream?
So we've met it at last. I understand very well why it has chosen to make an appearance here. That whale does not belong to Teyvat. It is a monster that has traversed the stars, weeping all the while. It has been greedily consuming the energy from the planet's primordial sea, using it to grow. That is the main cause for the rising sea levels. And once it has finished consuming all of the energy contained within the sea, its next step will be...
You said that when the Hydro Archon first created Fontanians out of Oceanids, she filled their blood vessels with primordial seawater.
Precisely. That whale finds the blood of Fontanians nigh impossible to resist. Therefore, when it left the primordial sea, it decided to make its next stop a packed opera house full of food. Food in the form of Fontanians.
We just barely managed to push it back, right? In that case, won't it come back to target the people again once it's managed to recover its strength?
That is correct. Indeed, it is more accurate to say that we should thank that Harbinger for buying us some time. Without him, the whale would have likely come onto land far sooner. From the way he looked, he must have been fighting the creature for quite a long time.
That battle maniac! We've always known that he had a special connection with that whale, but we definitely didn't expect it to help us out like this! Anyway, now that we know that this whale is the actual cause of the disaster recorded in the prophecy, all we need to do to stop the prophecy would be to find a way to beat it up, right?
It is too late. It had already absorbed too much of the primordial sea's energy before we could notice it. At this point, it has become practically integrated with the sea itself. Even if the entirety of Teyvat were to be destroyed, it could still survive and swim off towards some other world.
That's not something I will accept. We've already done everything we can, and we even found the true culprit. We've come so far. You can't just tell me that the last hurdle is some impossible foe. That's just not fair.
Indeed, that's not how a grand performance should end.
I'll fight it to the end. No matter what.
So the prophecy will be fulfilled no matter what, huh?
The prophecy. Yes, what has been prophesied will be fulfilled. You may view such things as the history of the future. Just as prophecies are usually only the future as seen from the perspectives of the gods, could things be happening in hidden corners where the gods' gaze does not fall? Ultimately, fate shall serve as your only guide, no matter what will happen in Teyvat's future. All you need to do is to play your part.
What's happening with the oratories?
I believe it is preparing to carry out the death sentence.
Marina!
No, I still need answers.
You...
Sorry. That shocked expression on your face is just too amusing. I couldn't help myself.
You are not Farina. Who are you?
Ah, the sweet sound of bewilderment. Marvelous. A sure sign that my attempt to deceive everyone was a resounding success. But to answer your question, I am Focalor. You know, the god.
Focalor.
Oh, that wasn't my goal, of course. Goodness, no. But I had to fool everyone else too, if I was to stand the heavenly principles.
Deceiving the heavenly...
It's all because of that pernicious prophecy. Dreadful, wasn't it? Everyone doomed to dissolve. Fontaine condemned to be flooded. One was not amused. In fact, one was positively bemused when that problem was thrust upon me by my dearest predecessor. That she knew full well that the prophecy would end as one of the seven. She also knew full well that one defies the heavenly prince. So yes, as you have no doubt surmised, it was a rather impossible situation that I found. I spent a terribly long time mulling it over, alone on the ocean floor. And I was almost growing barnacles by the time I had to outwit the heavenly principles, allow the prophecy to be fulfilled. I'm a genius, I know. Although, looking back now, it was hardly the inheritance one dreams of. Between the task of saving the nation, the quotidian duties of the Hydro Archon, and... but one can only play the hand one is dealt. I did not choose this, any more than I chose to be one of her Oceanid familiars.
So you were also once one of the Oceanids, transformed into a human by Egeria's hand.
Yes, I was. I always dreamed of becoming human. And I still do, even now. In my eye, after becoming a god, I separated my divinity from my body and spirit, leaving behind only a self that was as naive. The me you see before you now is that divine. She could feel joy, sorrow, and everything in between. Her strengths were of a kind only a human. But in my eyes, Farina's humanity was what made her perfect. She was perfectly human in every way. The person I always... Anyway, so then all part of the plan, of course. The plan to deceive... Do you still remember the final scene of the prophecy? In order that the prophecy might appear fulfilled, under the curse I placed on her, so long as I, Focalor's divinity, continued to exist, she could not die. But nor was she free to... Instead... She was forced to take the stage in the opera house, to embrace the role of leading lady. I suppose now you probably understand why.
But Farina is only human. Even though she has had a long life, her mind is no stronger than that of any other ordinary. I cannot begin to fathom.
It has indeed. And although she is, in a sense, me in human form, it's been 500, and all along, she's been playing her part in the most unimaginably long, unbearably lonely, and agonizingly painful opera of all time.
you to come onto the stage. Now, I understand your admiration. All right. It is not my intent to reprimand you. There is no need to state your name. Just feel... Oh, do not jest. Can you not feel it? I am Focalor, the eyes of countless... Dear audience, the performance is experiencing a technical difficulty, but worry not. The guards shall resolve it soon enough.
Sacred name, fortune preserver, go.
Dodge this!
Watch out! Feeling lucky? Ha!
Freeze!
Solidify!
Cool it!
Coming at ya!
Hey, what gives? The audience is still watching me, you know. Guards? Wait, where are the guards? Guards!
This one's got your name on it!
Freeze! Huh, huh. Don't get frostbite.
Hey there! Not fire! Well, coming at ya!
Farina.
Huh? Who's that? Who's calling me? Where are you?
Be not nervous. Be not afraid. I am...
Wait a moment. You're... Mirror me? How...
Mirror you.
Mirror me?
The prophecy.
What prophecy? The people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only the...
Oh.
What's going on? I can't seem to...
Yes, it will. And that is why I've come...
But doesn't that mean everyone will die?
Oh, don't worry. Magical meeting, I will tell you how to save everyone, but...
Oh, so there's still hope after. As for the suffering, well, I will admit, but if the prophecy will come true, I'll also die anyway, right? If there were scales, with all the people of Fontaine on one side...
I suppose this would also be the
Huh?
Don't worry, it's nothing. Listen well.
Play as...
That's right. You must begin. If you can keep it up, then I shall have my way of
But how will I do that?
Don't worry. What you must do is not to turn your being a human yourself. I'm sure. Remember, you.
I'm still not sure I understand, but I'll try. So, how long
to accomplish this mission, but I promise you,
a trial? Huh. The Maison Cardinalise has announced my... What should I say? Ladies, and I'm sure you've all heard about how... In truth, I know little about becoming a nation. As the god Focalor, the god of justice. Once again, thank you all for coming. If you should have any questions or suggestions, I thought I might stammer, but thankfully, I was.
That's the new Hydro Archon. Is this some kind of joke by the Maison? I would have thought that a being that surpasses humanity...
Hey, did you hear that? She even told us to send her suggestions.
Shouldn't gods be all-powerful? She's being so modest.
If you ask me, perhaps the succession didn't actually happen. She might just be a Maison back pup.
Wait, what's going on? Why is everyone suspecting me of being right? Mirmi said that I just need to play the role. Calm down, Farina. Think. Assertive, with a strong sense of presence. One who can dispel all doubt. Now, I was wondering if some weak puppet were to one day come... Well, it seems that you would all see right through them. Having passed my test, you are qualified to witness one... You may consider my previous act a door gift of sorts. I thought it was... Now then,
so that was just a performance. How could I have forgotten that we were inside an op...
Personality? It's quite shocking, to be honest, but I suppose it's a better look than before.
Such a fascinating and bold deity. How wonderful! Our future may yet be bright after all.
it seems I've turned them around. Best follow this flow and restart my accession speech. My dear people, whether you acknowledge me or not, whether you trust me or nay, I say to you, keep faith in your ardor for justice. We have heard it said that this nation's sins can no longer be washed away. Well, I say that justice is most fragrant when it blooms amid sin. No, this won't work. They'll suspect me again. I must play the role that they want me to play. The scales of justice should not weigh heavy in the hand. May law be the prayer on our lips. May judgment be our worship. Let us light the fires and drink. There is no trouble in this world that just so long as I, the Archon Focalor, stand with...
Yes! Oh, yeah!
Lady Farina, here are today's case reports, as well as a summary of the
Come now, was I not just... Besides, none of these trials were the one that I...
if I may be so impertinent...
A magnificent, dramatic, and wondrous...
That's true, I fear I lack the ability to grapple.
No need for fright. And do not take what I said before too seriously. Go now. Do your...
Lady Farina, I don't know what to say.
No need to thank me. Or rather, thank your own... Oh, all right. Deote...
He is doing much better now. In fact, he is far more of an ardent believer than...
Oh, good. Very good.
You're...
Lady Farina, you...
I see. It's as I thought, then. All manner of signs.
Well...
Really?
I'm...
The day is finally over. But it's good to see that everything's getting on. Maybe this is fine.
Lady Farina, here are the new trial reports for the latest cases at...
There'll be no need for that.
Lady Farina, I've...
Indeed, my dear, loyal citizen.
Lady Farina, we're detecting significant hydrological...
Understood. Keep monitoring. I don't think I let anything... I feel utterly exhausted.
Lady Farina, it's like a dream being able to speak. I've heard that the first member of our family who was honored to receive an audience with you was
And what a fine family yours is.
Sure.
What is it?
Are you crying?
Uh-huh. This must be the overflow of hydro from my person. Well, can't quite help being the god.
No wonder. No wonder. A manifestation of your power that...
So interminable. Hundreds of years must have passed by now. I never imagined. Have I reached my limit? I want to tell someone, anyone, about I've conducted so many investigations across the centuries. But all I can do is keep heart. I must maintain this.
Farina, you don't have to shoulder this burden, although I don't know what you might be keeping from everyone. Your...
Share my that's impossible.
It was fated right from the start that this would be my...
But even if your burden doesn't need to be shared, you can still choose to confide in... Just share it with me.
A witness. Yes, I've heard that, and if Tevat is, in its entirety, a show... She's right. But if things don't play out as expected... No, Farina, you shouldn't... But what if... Farina, you've worked so hard for so... Is it such an outrageous thing to do anyway? To find someone... If you let this opportunity slip through your... Think about it. Long and hard. No, I have nothing to say. I am Farina, the Archon of Fontaine. All you need to do, dear spectator, is to witness my...
Fine.
So even Farina doesn't know the truth?
Yes, it had to be done. She did very well. If she had let her resolve, it seems that trusting humanity...
I believe that I understand how your deception works. How would you build on this foundation to save the people of Fontaine? That is the most important thing.
Ah, good, good. Of course, the Iudex of Fontaine has pinpointed the crux of the issue. I'm sure you've long sensed that the oratory...
I've always suspected that it had its own consciousness. And Linny did mention that he heard a human... It now seems that that person was you.
And then I became one with the oratories, taking Fontaine's gnosis with me. Yes, it would seem... Alas, your understanding of this device... In truth, it is no enactor of justice. It is... Oh, you have it. And to be more precise... I mean, my work over these last 500 years... But really, some have already discovered that only a small the vast majority had to be accumulated to enact this death sentence.
It was all part of your plan, then? Both the trial and the sentence?
Indeed. This power, accrued over 5 centuries, could have sustained Fontainians for millennia, had it only been used for that purpose. But only power of this magnitude could hope to destroy the Hydro Archon's divine throne.
So the Oratrice's call for death was for neither Farina nor Focalor, but for the destruction of that divine throne. If I do not misunderstand your intent...
Returning what's rightfully yours to you. In other words, this was all done to return the authority of the Hydro Archon to...
But...
Oh, what? The authority of the ancient dragons shall soon be yours once more, O Hydro Drag...
All you've done throughout the years is just so you can...
I've never quite seen it that way, you know. Even now... Hydro Dragon, Hydro Dragon... I must say, had it been within my rights, Egeria stole the power of the primordial sea, and the heavenly principle stole the power. I, for my part, am the god of justice. Speaking of justice, I have always believed that so, if the theft of the primordial seas might, then, leaving matters of procedural... In other words, defying the prophecy and ensuring that at this point... Iudex Neuvillette.
So when I was invited to the court of... At last, In the beginning, I was uninterested in human existence. But these 5 centuries of living alone, you are things being as they are. Surely you know that I could never declare them to be guilty.
The hour of my execution is almost here. For the sinner, the curtain call has come. I know I may not sound it, but faced with death, I find myself a little afraid. Perhaps this is one thing both gods and humans have in common. Farewell, Nervalette. I hope you've enjoyed the part you played these 500 years.
I, Iudex Nervalette, hereby declare, people of Fontaine, your sins are forgiven.
Boats are made for...
What just happened?
Was that bright light some sort of misdirection?
But since we're all still alive and haven't been dissolved, I see...
It's time to end this. We must meet out...
Can you say just a moment?
I have gained the strength sufficient to deal with it. Through certain means, I now have the... We should seize the opportunity to pursue our quarry. Traveler, now that the oratories can no longer function, I require an executor, the root of the calamities befalling Fontaine. The beast, come with me, traveler. The hour of execution.
We're going to execute it? But how are we going to do that? It's huge!
I've already done my best to separate the power of the primordial sea from the whale. But considering the size of the beast, I cannot reach the power source. Unless we can find a way to attack it from within. I shall share a part of the ancient dragon's power with you. We shall look for an opening together. sorrow turning into hostility.
Solidify!
The all-devouring narwhal cannot resist its instinct to devour. Continue to trigger its hostility, and a chance will present itself.
Stabilize!
Thingy over there. It looks really scary.
Hey there!
Dodge this! This is order. Solidify! Cool it!
I have granted you my protection. Do not fear. Seize the moment and use my power to suppress its root from within.
Gather!
Coming at ya. Ha-ha. Cha. Hiya. Ha-ha. Hey there.
Freeze! Order guide you! Solidify!
Watch out. Fire. Well, with rocks. Hiya. Watch out.
Thanks for helping with the cleanup. It was just supposed to be a short private training session for me. I didn't think that well, actually, I had a feeling that it would happen at some point. But they bumped into one another earlier than I...
That power.
Paimon has an idea. It's just that he gave us the impression that she was the...
I simply did not have anything to say to the weak. But you... So you may speak to me as equals. I have to agree. It's a strange use of a planet's primordial water. That kind of power is wasted on it. It's not cooperative. It eats too much. And I have more important things to do with my time than pets. All in all,
Miss Skirk? I think you might have missed the point.
The point being...
Well, being that this pet... so what sort of person is your master? Well...
Oh, right. So you don't... His name is Sertologi.
Huh?
I am unfamiliar.
Huh. So Master isn't sufficiently famous.
The foul?
Still nothing? Well, how...
Ooh, that one we've heard! Rhine Dodger's part of the Hexen Circle. She's Albedo's mom.
Oh, so you do know that name. To be honest, I also heard all of those names and titles from my master. But I suppose you understand now, yes? My master is like...
Wait! Didn't you also mention a visionary...
Actually, never mind that. I believe that the all-devouring narwhal used up nearly all its strength. Such roiling hydro energies will prove difficult. As such, the Fontaine back on the... In other words, the prophecy that you...
What?
Not to worry. Focalor has...
In the end, the people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only Farina will remain, weeping on her throne. Only then will the sins of the people of Fontaine be washed away.
Hey! Help! Over here!
All hands, initiate emergency rescue!
Hurry! Hey, lend a hand!
Look! The water's receding!
It's a miracle!
Water's receding.
We didn't dissolve. The prophecy was wrong. The prophecy was wrong.
Are you alright?
Yeah.
We're saved.
The prophecy was wrong.
The soil renewed. The Spina di Rasula attacks post-disaster rebuilding. Old soil can still give birth to new bloom, Miss Navia stated. Skyship Winglet, boon or bane of the various disputes that have arisen on account of Mr. Edwin have suddenly become a shield. People always call the first researcher mad, but few know what to call the second. And should that latter... Wow! Paimon barely recognizes the people in the reports. Are those really Jurier?
What do you think? Pretty enthralling, huh? The Steambird's idea was pretty simple. With a disaster, the value for these big scoops lies in their inevitable follow-ups. Well, Edwin's assistant, Jurier, created a true flying ship, while Navia is leading people in the reconstruction of their home.
Paimon's curious too!
And that's exactly why I'd like you to come conduct interviews with me. You're the best incubators of news if you...
Are you sure? Hasn't he turned you...
Oh, this time will be different. Come on,